Hello there, this is Skoggul, and I'm doing another of our FOE Training Grounds bot lane series. We're going to focus on Soraka on this game. From watching the game, I thought Soraka did a great job. Soraka just really brings it this game, does a great job of positioning, supporting, doing what Soraka does. Looking at this game, you want to notice some things. How is gold ticking up? How's your carry doing? How are you doing? What do GP10 items do? I'll get into it here in a second, but Taric runs AP and not GP10. I'll slow it down and show you in a second, but you help the leash, because that's what you do. You gotta help as many. I know everyone thinks support goes bottom lane, support helps the bottom laner, but everything you can help adds up. So here I told you I'd take you to Taric. Let's take you to Taric. Taric is on the purple side, so I've got to unlock their view for a second to get into him, and we're going to look at his profile here. Taric has 26 AP. That means he took the AP Quints. He took AP in Masteries Runes. He basically doesn't have the GP10. So a Taric that goes when has AP on him early, and he doesn't have gold per 10, he's not looking to stack up the gold per 10 for late game. Taric wants kills. He wants assists. He wants to feed his carry kills, and he wants assists for them. That is what his goal is. So you have to go into this game knowing Taric's goals. Taric isn't trying to just last through the laning phase. Taric wants kills. Well, Taric gets kills by obtaining bush control. Bush control is very important as a support. It's kind of your job while your carry is farming to maintain bush control. Taric wants to run up and stun. You have one of the quickest silences in the game. If you are Soraka, use it. Taric comes up, silence him. It's not just Soraka counters Taric, Taric counters Soraka, or whatever. It is your style. Taric is tanky. He can take hits. He can add armor to his carry almost full time. You can add armor when you heal your carry, and you can heal up trades. So you need to be back and positioned well and have your silence ready to go on him. You can't harass as much with silence because your silence has to stop. If he lands stun, can you now silence so he can't land shatter? That is what you're looking to do against an aggressive Taric. You can't get kills if you can't land your combos. And so the other thing that this does really well, this Soraka does, is Soraka stays behind her carry, because the problem with Soraka is she has the one heal. It's on a long cooldown. It adds a bunch of armor, so if you can heal up what the damage your armor or your carry is taking, then gets the armor buff, we'll start winning trades. You'll do just fine. What you need to not do is take a bunch of harass yourself. So you need to stay back. You need to just use your silence when they try to move in and do your job. And here you're going to have a trade that looks like you're winning, and your heal's on too low of a cooldown. You can't do anything about that. I guess if she had taken Star Call, she could pick up this kill. We'll watch it again. But with the heal, Ashe is like, I'm winning this trade. What you can't do as a level 4 Ashe is take a tower shot. It just is not worth it. Zone them, push to the tower, make them lose CS through lane control. Don't dive. Diving here is just silly, especially chasing Taric. It's unlikely you're going to kill. Vayne's not in any danger. Now Vayne just needs a couple auto attacks and you're dead. So don't tower dive early. You can harass and try to push in the tower, but you can zone them right there. Make them go shop, and then push this big wave to the tower. You farm up the little bit of blue, and look at all those purple creeps. Those purple creeps could be sitting at the tower, and they could be backing, or they could be hiding behind the tower, not backing, and if they come out, maybe you can win a trade and get the kill. But that early tower dive just sadly didn't pay off, and it won't most of the time. Just hard to get that kill, and I think people underestimate the path. I don't know if it's a passive. I think it's the passive in the ability. I'm just not remembering right now, but Taric adds AD in an aura to him and his carry, so it just sucks. Well, Soraka had bought 3 wards to start, used one in the brush for brush control, and used another ward in the river, and so she has that extra ward, and that lets you stay more than 7-minute mark into the game. You can stay out in your lane longer if you have that extra ward, and you don't use all 3 really quick. You save one so that you can stay out there. And Nocturne was trying to gank, but it just isn't there. There was no positioning for the gank. It wouldn't have happened. He would have lost too much time. It wasn't worth it. So he backs off, and you don't want to back now. You can go get your Philosopher's Stone, and it's awesome, and you want that GP10 rolling, that's your job. It's also a really bad idea to abandon your pushed Ashe. You have the one ward in the river, but if Udyr comes down through the jungle, you really don't have a ward. You're not really that well warded right now. There's no ward between, you have the ward at the Wraith camp, so if you're paying attention, you're alright, but you don't have much time to get out of there if Udyr comes storming in and you're not paying attention for a second. So don't leave your carry overextended. That's just not a good position to leave your carry in, and you are responsible for your carry's health. You could tell them you're backing, but then they can zone your carry all day and she'll be denied CS. So remembering Taric's being aggressive, you got to stop that, and remember your other job as support. Watch for Udyr. Where's Udyr? He was blinking on the map, but you would not have seen that if you were playing. Udyr doesn't just randomly blink on the map where you know where he is. So at this point, assume you have no knowledge of Udyr. Just kind of a glitch with replay, I'm sorry about that. And Nocturne's going to go out there, and they're going to start Dragon, so your job would be to try to hurry and get there. Orianna's mid, we don't know where Irelia is, we don't know where Udyr is, even though you see him, you don't know. And you don't know where bottom lane is. They had just backed because Ashe had seen that, so I'm sorry, you did know bottom lane. That is why you take Dragon. It's not just kill bottom lane, gank and kill. You can just say, hey, bottom lane base, we have 20-30 seconds. If they ran straight here, let's go do it. And you're in a good position to get out of there. And now you don't need to use your pink ward on Dragon because Dragon's taken, so that's not necessary. It's okay, it's not bad to do that, but it's not required. Well, you're against Taric. Taric needs kills. He can't sit there and get the GP10. He doesn't have GP10. He has the GP10 item, but he doesn't have Quince to go with it. So keep stopping him, position well, and just try to really stop him. Well, Udyr is still unseen, so we have to be wary of jungle ganks. You have the ward in the river and the ward at the tri-brush, so they're going to have a hard time sneaking in on you, so you're fairly safe. Those are good ward placements. And here I really like this, and this is important to note. You aren't going to stop the wave from hitting your tower. Then why are you standing in front of your tower? If you stand in front of your tower, like where Ashe is now, they can get harass on you, and the tower won't hit them for it. So you need to do, as your job, if you're not trying to stop it from getting to your tower or to reset the lane in the middle, then go ahead and stand behind your tower. You can still farm from back there, and they can't jump on you. They can't poke you down. They have to engage, and you'll probably win that engage. Now, if they can poke you down to half life or less because you were out of position, and it doesn't sound like you're out of position, you're under your tower, but if you're not behind it, you kind of are out of position. They're going to try to get you every time. They think they're stronger. Unfortunately for them, the Soraka heal is a lot, and they're poked down a little bit. Fizz comes through the lane, and that is when the bottom lane is warded, the best way to gank bottom is through the lane. And she hesitates here, but Fizz has Playful Trickster. You got to know what your teammates do. He can tower dive. He can get out of a tower hit. He can do it at lower life. He has some tricks. And you kite Udyr back right up to your brush. Udyr's going to go try to get to the tower, but once again, what does Fizz do? Fizz loves to tower dive. And Ashe makes a mistake here, and it's sad because this is such a beautiful kill. We're going back from the beginning. Here comes Fizz through the lane gank. They don't have a ward through your lane, so where's the closest creep? You can get into that brush or into their face and engage before they know what to do. They won't really see it coming. It just looks like you're positioning to farm. Ashe hits something, backs up, doesn't tip her hand, and you have that ward in the bottom brush, and it's just an excellent play here. Silence Taric, don't let him get away. Use the Ashe arrow, and here comes, because of the ward, an easy land for the shark. It's actually Urf in this case, and that is awesome, but there's Urf swallowing up Taric, and immediately Fizz is going for the carry. So we know top is up there. We see mid because there's Nocturne, and you're safe to go chase this. Because what could they have? They have Udyr. Okay, now it's Soraka, Ashe, and Fizz versus Udyr. Udyr's best play here would honestly be to get back to his tower. It's not to chase. He does chase. I don't know why. That's two champions. If they lure you in the jungle, they can fight you. If you're at your tower, you're safe. But Fizz is a diver, so follow him in again. And that would be my thinking if I'm Soraka here, is follow in Fizz. Fizz will go in because he can do that. Okay, I don't want to take tower hits, I'm out of here. Ashe gets the kill, great play by Ashe. But she stops right here to farm, and there it is. You had just healed. Soraka had just healed, so she didn't have anything there. And then to push to the tower, so Orianna's gonna come there. Soraka can't really beat Orianna. Maybe mid Soraka could, but support Soraka's not gonna beat the mid. So you just want to kind of get out of there. You're extended pretty far. And looking at gold, you're 2,900 on Soraka, 2,200 on Taric. She's gaining at a faster rate by quite a bit. And the 4 assists, she's up about 25% roughly, and that's an estimate. And the carries are in line. So even though Vayne has more CS, they're the same. So you're doing a great job in this lane. You're making your carry stay at least in the game. You're staying ahead of their support, and that will add up. It'll get you more items. You're the 2 GP10, he is the 1. You have GP10 Quince, he doesn't. So he's going to have to kill you. And he's playing aggressively, and they're taking a lot of damage in turn. Just something to note, if you force them to overplay their hand, what does Taric have? He has no more AP than he started with. He has boots, he has cloth, so he's not quite... You can't just blow him up, and he has a Philostone, nothing to be scared of. Vayne's got her Bloodthirster. Once that gets stacks on it, that's a little bit scary, but you've got the BF Sword and the pickaxe on Ashe, and that's not bad. She'll have the Infinity Edge first, and then it'll be who builds the next items first. Just when you're thinking about what you're doing as a support, you're trying to track the jungler for not just your lane, but the team. If you know the jungler's in mid and running into the bottom jungle, say something. If you think the jungler's going top, you can say something. You've got some time. You're not farming constantly. You're not focused on that. You're focused on what's going on. The team wants to do dragon again. You have the timer, they don't. So you go buy a pink ward. That's a very good play as a support. You know it's about dragon timer or dragon's up. You need a pink ward. You want to make sure they have no vision. And then your team's going to have to work themselves in a position. Nocturne top can't do it, so you're going to kill the ward and you're going to start positioning for dragon. You'll see here that they keep going for Ashe. They can't fully dive her, especially when you are Soraka. They're going to take a decent amount of damage for it. So Ashe is going to go by before this dragon, and Nocturne needs to get in position, just plain and simple. Renekton really can't leave top and come help because Irelia is pretty strong right now. Irelia is not exactly losing that lane. And at a certain point, your Soraka heals are just for a lot. Their dive attempts, if they can't finish the kill, are just for no good reason. They're just there. They just exist. And you see Fizz getting in position for a gank, so of course Fizz is going to dive. That's what Fizz does. Follow him in. Go support him. Nocturne also can dive. For the team comp, you should just be ready to follow your team in, because your team can basically get, even Renekton has dashes. He can dash in, hit, do a lot of damage, dash out, tank some of those turret hits so your team can finish off. So here comes Fizz going through the jungle. If you go through the river, you're definitely spotted. And they see him. They've got the ward in the tri-brush. But it's kind of just too late. It's kind of one thing, maybe I'll get into that, give a good example. This is a great example of that tri-brush ward. It's too late. The lane sees that you're backing off, and they're chasing because they know their goals are to get dragon. You've gotten the pink ward for it. The jungler has come bottom for it. The mid's ganking for it. So you know that your opportunity now is his now. Orianna's in the mid. She could come, and Udyr could come. But you have 4 people. You're ready to do dragon. You've set up for it. You've bought for it. You're ready. So go do it. They don't have a ward there, at least there. They could have a ward in the dragon pit. Your pink ward out in the river does not see the dragon pit. And so that's just something to remember, is they don't have one here, but it doesn't mean they're not in the dragon pit. Udyr comes running. He either anticipated or there was one there. Don't really know, but he doesn't get the smite still because Nocturne does his job. And there's your ability to run in 1v3. It's just not going to work out for you. And that was basically everything I wanted to show you, other than the gold. You have Soraka sitting at 1,500 on her, 4,500 total. Taric's just sitting at 2,700. That's an 1,800 gold win, roughly. and your support or your carry has 6,000 and their carry has 5,000. So your carry won by 800 gold. That's nearly a pickaxe. That's a Doran's, that's a longsword, it's a defensive item. Not really, it's an 80 carry, but my point is that you're up a little bit. Your carry's going to be able to contribute a lot of damage late game, and you're ahead of their support. Anyways, thank you for watching our video, and hopefully we'll bring you more later. I'll probably get a bulletin board at the end of this. We will see you later. Alright, recapping what happened this game. I put some bulletin points out. 1. Taric does not have GP10. That means he went ability power to be stronger early. And you need to pay attention to what they have on their champion, and then you can see what runes they're likely running. And when you do that, it's going to really make a difference in how you play, your play style. It affects it all. And next we have 2 was bush control. You knew that Taric wanted to be aggressive just because of what had happened. And you'd notice that the GP10 items were not on him, and he had 26 AP, so he wants to land his combos. He lands his combos by hiding in the brush and getting in positioning, and he uses that brush and that invisibility to gain good favorable spots, and then he jumps out at you. And you want to make sure you're keeping those brushes warded or the lane pushed past them. Those are the ways to keep brush control, or you're constantly in them. He can't come in them without taking a silence, and then your carry should be able to see that and back off appropriately. And then positioning as a support. Early on, Soraka stayed back. Soraka made sure that Taric couldn't jump on her, because if you have to heal yourself, you're not giving your armor buff to your carry. That hurts you, and you don't want to do that. Just every support will have a different positioning, but for Soraka, it's generally behind your AD carry. You don't want to tank for him, then you have to heal yourself. And saving wards early is 4. And what I mean by that, and why this is important, is you want to make sure that you have the wards early to make sure you don't get ganked, but if you can't back right at 5, 6, 7 minutes into the game from whatever time you place those wards, you need to have, if you have bought 3 wards or 4 wards early, you need to make sure you have a ward to extend to 7 or 8 minutes, or else you're just playing blind, and it's very dangerous. You are better off backing, even without your carry to back, to go get those wards. You can't be in the lane and extended past halfway. Even at halfway you could be in trouble. You're just in trouble without those wards. So if you save the 1, you can kind of extend the first out, and that is what I mean by saving your wards early. Just a tactic you can use to stay out longer. 5, don't leave your carry extended. And in this game it showed that when Soraka had money to get a Philosopher's Stone, Ashe was pushed. So if Soraka leaves the lane, they don't even need a gank. They can just go on her. She may not be able to get away. The heal isn't there. That silence isn't there. Taric can land his combos. And wisely, Soraka stays in the lane until the lane gets re-pushed back. You can communicate with your carry. Say, hey, stop pushing. I need a buy. And you say it a couple times. If they don't respond, you've got to go back at some point. But just tell them what you're going to do. Just communicate that I don't want to leave you extended, so let them push back. Just last hit for a minute. Get this lane back. You can defend yourself at the tower. 6, dragon control. The dragon control really happened through Ashe and Nocturne, but Soraka didn't disappoint and not help. But Ashe sees that Vayne and Taric go to buy, and that's about as good as a kill. If they're going to run back and buy, and you're in position to just run over and do dragon, they really can't stop you. Their jungler can come, but if your mid's in position and your jungler's in position, you have the advantage. You can go take that dragon. And that's just something to think of. Okay, they backed. What can I do? You have the later game, they retreat, your team rushes Baron. Early game, bottom lane, you have to be thinking about opportunities to do dragon. If you get a gank, it's successful, you kill them, you can do dragon. If you gank mid and their mid dies, you can do dragon. If they go buy and they've got to go spend some gold, you have a brief window to go do dragon. Your jungler has to be in position, but if you are, you let them know, you go try it. 7 was lane ganks, and that was what I mean by lane ganks is river ganks and behind them ganks through their jungle are not the same as lane ganks. Lane ganks are when they come through your lane. They could be using your brush, and you have to make sure that your creeps don't see them to get into that brush. Or they could just, like Fizz did, go full speed in, because what can they do about it? They're playing aggressive, they're trying to attack you. Every time you step out, they attack you. You can bait them into coming forward. If they come forward, your teammate, your mid lane in this case, your Fizz, was able to just run through the lane. If they're not coming forward, what you can try to do is have Fizz sneak into that bottom brush, and then either let the lane push out, or push the lane fast so you can get into the next brush. You can do one of two things. You could push really hard and get their creeps so that they can't see him run to the next brush, or you can let them push you, and that will allow your teammates to get in position to go on for the gank. 8 was Taric comes from river. The reason I mention this is your job as a support is you want to ward, you want to heal, you want to use your crowd control, you want to make sure your carry wins, but you can watch what time their support is coming out from odd positioning. Instead of being in the lane, was trying to hug the brush, is coming from the river, there's likely a ward there. Put a timer in your head. 3 minutes, that ward's gone. Ask for a gank in 3 minutes. Alert your jungler. Say, hey, their wards will run out at about this time. If you come through, you're probably safe, or we might catch them in the river. Different things can happen if you're paying attention to more things. 9 was the tri-brush ward can be too late. Is my point here is you have that brush, so you think if they come behind me, I'll see them and back out. The problem is your lane can chase, so the AD carry and support can be chasing, and they're behind you. At a certain point in the game, they can just blow you up. You are a squishy glass cannon, and that brush ward isn't enough. It almost has to be farther out, or you have to be strong enough to get away. Anyhow, this was my bulletin board for this game, and kind of what can happen. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.